On your march, get set, go. I first want to just say if you have completed your 30 days, because today is the 30th day of June, which says that if you started on day one with surviving tough times on your march, get set, go, today is the day that you have gained your goon status. A lot of people try to figure out what that goon status is all about, but it's all about the fact that now you have power that no one else can take from you. You've broken yourself down to the point where you know why you are existing. And the same shortcomings that you have, now you need to start to appreciate the next man because they too have been through their tough time. The blessing of it is we are now at the end. So that says that we have survived it. One more thing down the drain that we have done. Now I need for everyone to focus on the fact that every single person that you come in contact with, if they've never seen Surviving Tough Times, I'm now giving it to you. So you can then explain to them how they can go and get their manual. Because each and every one of us needs to have our own manual so that when things do fall out of line, we'll be able to jump right into like day 8 or something and be like, okay, this is how I'm getting my blessing. The more that I'm working on something, the more people will see me doing the work, the more, you're going to actually come out as the blessing. So sometimes you learn from one day more than you'll learn from another day, but all of the 30 days combined is just a beautiful journey. So I really wanted to just come and say, on your march, get set, go. And now, even if you could do show of hands or anything and show me how many of us are really ready to go right now. I felt that hesitation. Do you understand? So, what I want to do today is I'm going to tell you something or I'm going to take you on a journey. And the journey is not only going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit your children's children's children. Who, you ask? I mean, those kids that you might not even have yet, the children that they will have, and then the kids that they might even have in the generations to come. You understand where I'm coming from when I'm saying, on your march, get set, go? Like, this is real. But I just need to know, are you ready? Because if there's a hesitation, which I'm sure for some there is a hesitation, what if I was to tell you that your uncertainty is due to a lack of faith? Would that make you change your stance? Because it seems as if in order for people to really, really get involved or follow you or listen to you or want to be on the same team with you, it seems like you have to do a lot of persuading. Or is it me that if the people don't find the personal benefit in it for them, like they can completely disregard something? Well, what I'm trying to do this evening is I'm going to invite you into my journey, how I see it. If you can see the dream, maybe you can be a part of that team. Okay? So the way I look at it, because of the fact that I can feel the resistance, I'm going to tell you what, you put your faith in mine. Okay? So then when you get enough faith in your strength in faith to step out on your own and do this, then that's all you need. But for meanwhile, you can just come on in here and grab a seat with me. The only question that I really need to ask you is, are you ready? Because they say if you stay ready, then you don't have to get ready. And I grew up in the church and they used to say, be ye ever ready. So I would like to assume that we are ready. We are all ready to go. However, you know what they say about assumptions. And one day I actually threw my own party, had a caterer and everything, DJ, the whole nine, because I just knew that my friends were coming to kick it with me. Lo and behold, no one showed up. Nobody showed up. Just the people that I paid. Nobody showed up. So needless to say, I don't do that much assuming anymore. And besides, it's not up to me to assume, but the fact that you're sitting here and you're listening to me right now speaks leaps and bounds. it kind of, that's kind of what it's all about. Just being there, being in the present, being able to be a part of something. Yes, that's where we are. Let's put that as in your first step. Let's step this thing out so you can so I can show you how to be on your march, get set, and then go. So the first thing you need to do is just be there, be present, be in the area. Let people know that you're there, and let them know why you're there, and let them know that you're there, willing and able to, ready to work. That's what you need to do. If you're ready to march and you're coming alongside the people and you're joining ranks, you need to be there. You want to be present. You need to make your presence known. Like, I remember growing up. When I grew up, my mom had us in all activities, every activity. We were there. It didn't even matter. I mean, and I volunteered from the senator's office all the way to the candy striper in the hospital. I mean, volunteered for everything. But there was this one group, the NAACP, and coming from where I come from, is a predominantly white area, and so okay. Our mascot was a life-size man sitting on top of a life-size horse, and he had on a sheet, and they called him the Galloping Ghost. So, needless to say, when the NAACP came to the area, we were there, we were strong, and we were deep in numbers. So what the NAACP did was we joined together and we banned, and like we actually protested and did everything that we needed to do to try to get the man off the horse, or the Klan man off the horse, in the middle of our school lobby. And we won. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes you have to just you got to be in the number. Sometimes it's the number that makes sense. So the one thing that I definitely know is, number one, you need to be present. Now, once you've actually gone through all of your presentation, because I'm telling you, when we were at those NAACP meetings, those NAACP meetings were really only to get us together so that we could be there to stand in unity when it came down to getting it done. And I must say, they removed the statue. And now they're not the Galloping Ghost. They are just the graveyard. I don't even know if they even symbolize a ghost anymore, but it's the graveyard. And when you drive through the neighborhood, the signs read, "No place for hate." So this is why I'm telling you that the dream that I believe, I know that this can be done. Because I came from it. I see it happening. It's happening every day. So we need to just understand that it's going to take all of us. So the question really truly is, are you ready? Because I've had an opportunity to go to a lot of different places, meet a lot of different people, and it's all been great. When I say we've come from all different walks of life, you can tell that we've come from all different walks of life. Some people grew up in the church, other people don't even know where church is. Okay? So I'm on one spectrum to the next spectrum. But then if you're listening to the Word of God says that you can't be on both spectrums. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm dead wrong because I like what goes on over here, but I grew up over here and I like what goes over here. But then I started to realize that what was going on over there was really supposed to be what God was saying, but we were so not like God. It was just so, everything was, we do it this way, they do it that way. We're over here, they're over there. It's okay for them to be over there because everybody won't make it in. That's what they used to say. And that everybody won't make it in used to really, really, really burn me. It used to just bug me because I used to be thinking, who are we to say that everybody's not getting in? If the Bible says that everybody's not getting in, then everybody might not get in. But we can't tell which ones are getting in and who's not getting in. So I started having more conversations. And I mean, these conversations led to real, genuine relationships of just different. Like, I would never think in a million years that I would have a conversation with a Muslim man about Jesus, about Christ. And he explained to me how much he loved Christ. You understand? So that was monumental that day for me. And that's when I realized that God is saying, so much more. He's got to be saying so much more, because there's no way in the world that I go into the church and then I encounter nasty people in the church. And you're telling me that this is the place where you're not, where they're going to make it in. But the people that are outside that give you love, that show love, and they're just respectful of everything of your life, the air that you breathe. You mean to tell me that they're not getting in because they don't deal with us over here? That's not God. It has nothing to do with God. And everyone should understand that if they are standing that strong in something, that's them. That's flesh. That's not God. Like, people talk about sin. It's not even about the sin. The only one that was sinless was Jesus. Okay? And we leave it alone. Like, we can talk about all of the things that don't matter, but when it comes down to the things that matter, who's there to talk? Who's there to listen? No one. We've exhausted the spot. And this is exactly why I believe that I was given the opportunity to write a book like Surviving Tough Times. On your march, get set, go. And in the journey, it's a 30-day journey, but you got to take it alone, because it's some stuff that you got to work on for yourself, that once you've worked it out within yourself, you'll feel so much better about yourself that now when we come and sit down at the table, you'll be able to actually voice your opinion. You'll be able to put your thoughts in the pot so that everyone can appreciate your thought and how it came out of your brain, what you thought about. But it's a process. So that's why it takes 30 days. Now, do you need to go back to it? Of course, I would. I would resort. Once you get your 30, that means you've done the run. But now the games are about to begin. Now things happen. Now people are coming into your contact. Now you're about to see how it is that you realize that you are surviving a tough time. And now you've come in contact with someone that might be just in that tough time that you just got out of. Now is your opportunity to say something. Speak up. Give them the courage of faith. I'm telling you, y'all, it's all about how we're looking at things. You can look at something until you can look at it and it'll never move. And if you never want it to move, guess what it won't do? It will never move. But if you realize that you see something, and then once you see it and you want to change it, you have every right to do it. And that's the reason why you got to do it by yourself, so that you know how you're standing. Because your stance becomes very, very important in your march. So let that be number 2 for you. Your stance. Your foundation needs to be solid enough so that you know you won't get knocked down. You might get set back. You might actually sway. I say no matter what comes my way, I might have to sway. But I ain't going to get knocked down. Yeah, sometimes you got to be John Wick up in this joint, like, hey, I'm dodging bullets. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, you realize that with your strong foundation, you can go all different types of ways, but you're not going to be lost. You're not going to fall. That's what you need to know. So number 1, be present. Remember, you got to show up, be there, ready to do it. Number 2, make sure you got a strong stance. You need to be able to stand strong. The reason why you're going to have to stand strong is because there's going to be people that are filling the ranks. And when they come, they might not have all the strength that they need to keep going. So it's going to be your strength, your overflow, that's going to actually allow someone else to find strength in keeping going. Trust me when I tell you. The one thing that I've always realized is that if you have a strong foundation, it's not too much that's going to happen. Things will happen, but things aren't going to be detrimental to the point where it's going to knock you down, blow it away, or tear it apart and all that kind of stuff. That's not going to happen. But now that you have your proper stance, and it makes it easy for everyone to join on. And if we all can stand strong, we'll stand together. And in the vision I see all types of people. White, black, and everything in between. Because it all really comes down to the air that we breathe. Correct? No race, no color, no pick, no creed. All rest in the way that we breathe, the way we move, the way we have our being, you know? Like that's what this is all about. And we all individually get a chance to do it. So when you realize that there is something going on, most people are ready to get involved. Back in the day, they might not have been ready to do too much. But now that we see where we are and where we are on our way to, that's why I say on your march, get set, go. Because you got to know exactly why you're in the situation that you're in. And when that happens, a lot of times people look at the bad situation and all we can do is see the bad in it. We never see the goodness that God is actually bringing to us from this. Like the day you got fired from the job, you would have never met the lady if you weren't at the job. If you weren't at the coffee shop that morning because you got fired, you would have never met her, which meant that you would have never met him, which meant that y'all would have never been married, which meant that the kids that you have might not even exist. But it all came down from that day that you got fired. And we have to be able to embrace that so we can start to look at it and see it better. And then you'll understand that the reason why we get stuck in the places that we get stuck is not so much because of what is actually happening, but it's the lack of the fact that we can't see past it to go to where we need to go. So number one is to be present. Number two is to have a strong foundation. And just know that you're there. Stand up, be strong, know that you're supposed to be right where you're supposed to be, because God says everything that you got, you're supposed to have, and what he gives to you, you're supposed to have. But I will tell you about a time when I went to Delaware State University as the female instrumental music major, but I had never marched in a band. Well, I can't say I never marched in a band because I did. I just came from corps and drill, like where you roll your feet, you know? And when you're going backwards, you kind of get up on your toes and then we go back like this. Yeah. That's what I would have done. That's how I used to do it. So I had to really sneak in there like, Mr. J, I really don't know how to march. And he kind of was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, sweetie? You don't know how to march? Like, I've never done this before. Because Del State, I mean, they be marching. They looking like they was dancing and carrying on everything. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. You know what Mr. J told me? He said, oh, baby, it's easy. Just put one foot in front of the other. What? Put one foot in front of the other? That's all I needed to do to march? I need that to be your number 3. Put one foot in front of the other and just start marching this thing out. Before you know it, your ranks are going to be filled already with people that you didn't even know were there watching you. But the second that you started to take your march and you started to walk on your way, they followed you. They're coming with you. They are supporting you in everything you do. Why? Because they realize that now you're marching. There's a reason why we march. We're marching towards something. We're marching to get to where we need to be. So once we started and you take that first step, I'm telling you, if right in front of the other. First step. And then when you start to realize, you just keep taking steps. And now you're marching. And now your ranks are getting filled. And the only requirement to be in this line is that you're breathing. What do you say? Oh, you know people that aren't breathing? Well, then that means that they're leaving. So we don't need them. But everything that is breathing, we encourage you to come on in. We encourage you to come on in and get ready to get on your march. Get set so we can go. So a real quick recap, because I know y'all was all with me. The first thing you need to do is make sure you're there. Show up. Be present. Make it be known that this is what you want to do and you're standing in solidarity with everything that's going on. So that when we start the march, you'll be good. Number 2, make sure your foundation is set. You need a foundation like no other, to the point where you might bend, but you won't break. You might sway, but you ain't gonna lay down. And there's a difference. So leading me to the third step that says put one foot in front of the other and keep on marching. As long as you started the momentum, believe you me, you gotta stop practicing, gotta stop preparing, and you gotta start talking, and then you gotta start walking. One foot in front of the other. And the last thing I will tell you before I end this is don't quit. Keep doing it, do it some more, keep doing it after that, and then even when you're tired, do it some more until you can't do it no more. That's how you win. That's how you be on your march. That's how you get set, and that's how you go. And that's why when you do take that step, you don't have to move back. You won't want to move back because you'll turn around and there'll be so many people behind you that you can't. And what I'm telling you guys is I want you to join with me. I want you to join the Surviving Tough Times on Your March Get Set Go Facebook page because that's where our community is going to grow. So it's Surviving Tough Times on the Facebook page is where you'll get the information. Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a live Zoom call so people can actually share their thoughts. And what I am offering is I'm offering understood sessions and moments for you to be understood. I want to know why you feel the way that you do. I need to know why you feel the way that you do. That way you'll have a soundboard. You'll be able to speak with me. And then we'll be able to come up with some great solutions to that situation that you're in today. So when I tell you that the march that we are about to be involved in is a very contagious march. And I see this beat, one body, one heart, one beat. I see this beat as a heartbeat. In everybody that is breathing, we breathe the same way. We breathe the same air. So we're allowed to do the same thing. So as this beat becomes contagious, let us reach and spread it throughout all the nations. Because it's going to take more than me. It's going to take more than you. But I definitely know that you, your crew, everybody that is a part and affiliated with you is going to be a part of this mission. One heart, one body, one beat. On your march, get set, go. And I don't want you to meet me there, y'all. I need you to beat me there. So we can get this thing popping and go save the world for our babies. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And don't let the word go to waste. Don't let the word go to waste. And also, if you got babies, let your babies know. I want to talk to them as well. I want to be a place where they can say what they need to say and get it off of their chest. So if you know me and you have kids, you might want to hit me up so that we can get that talking because I believe process is important. Process is important. Understanding is important. But when you have the courage and the ability to step up and say that I am, that is what I want them to be able to do. So if this is you and it touched you, like I said, please subscribe, like, and share. And hopefully I'll see you somewhere. Have a good one.